श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदांतवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे. Apo, so we were seeing this 10th shloka. Pavitranam pavitram yo mangalanam cha mangalam daivatam devatanam cha bhutanam yo avyayah pita. There bhutanam yo avyayah pita ekaha avyayah pita. That is what we understood. That ekaha devaha ekaha pita, that one non-dual self. So for that he is bringing pramana from each of these Upanishads to establish that ekaha. Now we saw Taittiriya Upanishad Pramana, then he is bringing Kata Shruti, Katavalli, Kata Upanishad. Okay? Agnirtha eko bhuvanam pravishtaha rupam rupam pratirupo bhuva ekastatha sarvabhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupa bahishcha. Now, before this, there is one more interesting logic, extension of the logic which we saw yesterday. Kasmai devaya avijavidema. So there, Kasmai devaya, we said ka cannot be Sanskrit, through based on Sanskrit rules. Ka cannot be the ka cannot mean the ka cannot mean question or Prajapati, the creator. Why? Because it is in Sarvanama, it is in pronoun. We saw this. Very good. So therefore, Bhagavan Bhashyakara said, if it has to be pronoun, then you have to add a word of ekara, supply a to the kasmai. Therefore, a kasmai, one. Very good. But I was seeing this, while seeing this, I thought, what will the opponent think in this situation? How will he counter strike? He said, no, this ka refers to Prajapati. How? I told you, Kasmai. Why did you add, supply the A? Because it is Chandasa Lopa. Vedic usage, the A got dropped. Oh, if it is Vedic usage, the A got dropped. This is Vedic usage, the Kaya became Kasya, Kasmai. So what? Instead of Kaya or Kaya should be normally. So instead of Kaya, it became Kasmai. In fact, if I'm going to present a logic like that, it is right. There is no question of condemning, because it is Chandasa Prayoga, Vedic usage. The Sanskrit rules, Sanskrit grammar, the Veda is not based on the Sanskrit grammar. The Sanskrit grammar, the rule Sanskrit came from Vedas. This is the other way around. Sanskrit came from Vedas, not Vedas from Sanskrit. Okay, so kasmai, that is why the normal Vedic rules of Sanskrit does not apply to the Vedic usages. Not all the Vedic usages are covered here. Some Vedic usage, for that Pratishakya, there is another grammar pertaining to each of these Vedas. Anyway, that's a different subject. So he can counter it. Kasmai is right, it refers to Prajapati. This is a Vedic usage. Now, how will a Vedanti counter strike? So we'll say, oh, right, what you said is right, of course, true. But there is another problem. What is the problem? There are two rules. One is logic, the other is it should be supported by Veda. Now, if you accept it as Kasmai Devaya, it will be against the Veda. Veda Virodha. There is a contradiction with Shruti. Shruti Vyakopa, we call it. There is a contradiction with the Shruti. So, it cannot be accepted. How Eka is not contradictory and Kasmai becomes contradictory. So, we can bring in another pramana from Kata Shruti. Agnirtha eko bhuvanam pravishtaha rupam rupam pratirupa babhuva ekastatha bhut sarvabhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupa bahishcha. Agnihi yatha ekaha bhuvanam pravishtaha rupam rupam pratirupa babhuva ekah tatha sarvabhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupah babhuva. No. Yatha eko agni, like one fire. Fire is not multiple. Fire is one. What is fire? Fire is that which has the property, the quality of effulgence and heat. heat and light. Okay, that which has the property of heat and light is fire. And fire is one, whether it is in the kitchen or in the fire oblation pit or in the crematorium. Wherever you see, that fire is one. Okay. So, bhuvanam pravishtaha, when the fire, this fire with the property, the quality of heat and light, when it entered the world, rupam rupam pratirupa bahuva, whichever form, rupam pratirupa, actually rupam rupam prati iti pratirupam, that is the form, that's the Sanskrit usage, compound word. But here, rupam pratirupa, meaning with every form, associated with every form, like the wood, etc., it took, the fire took the same form. Agnihi pratirupaha babuva. The fire took the same form of the objects. Rupam. Every object. Now, what does that mean actually? Fire engulfs the object and becomes that very object. Meaning, the fire cannot be, though the fire is one, it cannot remain independent. It should be associated with something. Only when it is associated with something, you will be able to see the fire. It should be either associated with the wood or with oil or with gas, something or other. It should be associated with something. Only then you can see the fire. That is a manifest fire. The fire which exists already in the wood, because only because of that the fire, when you light it, it gets lit, because it has inherently the quality of fire, unmanifest. So that manifests. So manifest, for the fire to manifest, you have to have some object associated with it. When the fire takes that form, you will be able to see it. So pratirupa bhuva. Tatha, similarly, ekah, one, which is one, the self, non-dual self, sarvabhutantaratma, which remains, which exists in all the beings. Bhutana antaratma, as their inner self, indwelling self. Okay, antaratma, rupam pratirupa bahishya. Rupam pratirupa, like the fire takes the form of each object it gets associated with. Similarly, this self gets the form of each object it is associated with. Each object means, like when it is associated with the God, the deities, it becomes a deity. It takes the deityhood. Humans or the birds and animals, it takes that form. Now, as the indweller, not just an indweller, it is not just inside the creation. Bahishya, it is also outside the creation. The difference between the inside the creation and outside the creation is inside the creation, it is embodied with embodiment. Outside the creation, it is not embodied, therefore without embodiment. So inside the creation, it is with embodiment. Outside the creation, it is embodiment plus. Inside the creation, it is a sa upadhika, upadhi sahita, sopadhika. Okay. Outside the creation, it is nirupadhika. That is the difference. Sopadhika, nirupadhika. With embodiment, without embodiment. Okay. Similarly, fire, after fire, air. Ekastata sarvabhutantaratma rupam pratirupa bahishya. वायुर्यथा एको भुवनं प्रविष्टः रूपं प्रतिरूप बभूव एकस्तथा सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा रूपं प्रतिरूप बहिश्च. Same, instead of Agnihi, Vayu is used. Yatha eko Vayuhu bhuvanam pravishtaha rupam pratirupaha babhuva. Tatha ekah sarvabhutantaratma rupam pratirupo bahishcha. Vayu yatha, like the fire, ekah is like the fire is one, Vayu, air is also one. Wherever that air is, inside the body, air. Okay, so inside the gas cylinder, air. In the environment, air. The air may have different qualities and different properties and different names. That is a different thing, but it is air. Okay, so that one air, bhuvanam pravishtaha, that enters this earth. After entering the earth, rupam, with every form it is associated with pratirupa. Similar to that form, babuva it becomes. Whichever form the air is associated with, that form it takes. Ekah, tatha ekah. Similarly, one, which is the sarvabhutantaratma, the self, which is the indweller in all the beings. Rupam pratirupa bahishcha. It takes the form similar to that object internally and externally. That is the idea. Okay. Now, I understand. The fire or air similarly is the self. Wherever it is associated, it takes the same form. But I have a doubt. What is the doubt? If it takes the same form as the object, then being me, if I'm going to do punya or papa, this self, which is the indweller, who is arrested by me, who is imprisoned by me, is also going to experience that punya and papa result, is also going to be tainted by that punya and papa. For this doubt, he is bringing the next example. Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshuhu na lipyate chakshed vashya doshaihi ekastata sarvabhuta antaratma na lipyate loka dukkhena vashyah. Surya yatha sarvalokasya chakshuhu na lipyate chakshaihi vashya doshaihi ekah tatha sarvabhuta antaratma na lipyate loka dukkhena vashyah. Now, Yatha Surya, like the sun, Sarva Lokasya Chakshu is the eye of the whole world. Sun is the eye of the whole world. What is that stupidity? Let us see. You have eyes, a very good eyes. Now, with that very good eye, can you see the object? Of course, if the eye is very good, I can see the object. Don't answer. Think. Provided there is light. Because your eyes don't see the object, you have to understand that your eyes don't perceive the object. Even under the light, the eyes don't perceive the object. It only perceives the reflection from the object. The eyes perceive only the reflection from the object. Now, without the sun, the eye is of no use. In darkness, even if there is eye, you don't see the objects. Therefore, sun is aiding the eyes. Therefore, sun is the eye. Without it, you can't see anything. So, but still, the sun is that which illumines all the objects in the world. Still, na lipyate, lipa lepane, to be tainted. It is not tainted. It is not associated, not tainted. Tainted by what? Chakshushahi, chakshu vishaya chaksha. The objects of the eye. Bhashya doshaihi, external objects which are objects of eye, the defects there, with the defect, by the defects of the external objects of the eye, that are objects of the eye, it is not a tainted. Let us see. There is this Ganges, and there is this gutter flows into Ganges. Normally, that is what is seen here. Now, the sun does not decide, okay, this is Ganges pure, therefore I will shine more light. This is gutter, impure, I will shine less light. It doesn't need too much of light. Or otherwise, oh, Ganges is already pure. Even if someone falls, it's okay, it's pure. So I will shine less light. But this is gutter. If someone falls, he will become dirty. So I'll shine more light. Not that. Or, oh, this person, he is a good person. Therefore, I will give him less heat. Oh, this person is a very bad person. I will give him more heat. It doesn't decide on that. For everyone, the heat and light is common. For everything and everyone, the heat and light is common by sun. It is not tainted by whatever they do. The good and bad they do under the sun is not tainted by that. Similarly, Ekaha Sarvabhutanta Atma, this one indwelling self, which exists in every being, na lipyate, is not tainted by loka dukkhena, by the sorrow of the world, samsara dukkha. Bhashyaha, the external samsara durka, it is not tainted by whatever you do, though he is the indweller, he is not tainted by that. Eko vashi sarvabhutantaratma, ekam rupam bahudha yah karoti, tamatmastam ye anuvashyanti dhiraha, tesham sukham sashvatam netaresham. Ekah vashi sarvabhutantaratma, ekam rupam bahudha yah karoti, tam atmastam ye anupashyanti dhiraha tesham sukham shashvatam naitaresham. Ekah, one non-dual self. Vashi, one that which has everything under its control, meaning it is independent. But the others are dependent on it. How is he independent? He's having everything under his control. How? Sarvabhutantaratma, being the indweller of everything. Now he is associated with them because he's inside and he's taking everything under his control. Therefore, control freak will be tainted by the good and bad of that person. No. See, indweller, even though he is the indweller, even though he is controlling everything, he does not control it using his will and energy. Like the magnet, when it is placed in a place where there are lots of iron filings, it doesn't invite it. The moment you place a magnet, it just attracts it. They are attracted to that magnet. Similarly, the existence, mere existence, create the other beings to function. How can the mere existence be the cause for the whole world to function? That is a stupid question, because you can see sometimes your mere existence brings joy to people or sorrow to people. This is seen. So you cannot ask that question. So he says, Sarvabhutantaratma ekam rupam. Though it is one non-dual form, Baudha Yakaroti, it manifests many things. Though it is a one non-dual form of knowledge, of consciousness, still it is a manifesting multiplicity, plurality. Okay. Now, different embodiments. Tam atmastham. Tam, that self. Atmastham. Where should we see? Atmastham. In the Atmani Sthitam. In the existing in the inner self. In the self. Existing in the self. Atma, self. Sthitam, existing. Existing in the self. Right? But self existing in the self. One who sees the self existing in the self. What kind of stupidity it is? The idea is Atma here means body. Sthitam, inside the body. Inside the body, where? That too specifically Harda Akasha, in the mind, in the cavity of the heart, the cave of the heart. One who sees it. Why is this the heart cave? Because that is where the self manifests. Though the self exists everywhere, it is the place of manifestation. Like in today's world, the boys, the young boys and young girls, they say, oh, the self is the God is everywhere. Why should we go to temple? God is everywhere. True. Are you able to see the God everywhere? Are you able to see the God in your cinema theater or your neighborhood? No. So you need a place where once you enter that place, that particular place, your mind becomes at peace. It attains peace. So that is a place where there is a manifestation of God. Though God exists everywhere, that is the place which is designated for manifesting Him in a form for you to worship. So therefore, going to temple is a compulsory thing for you to experience that. So tam atmastham. So in the heart cave, though it exists everywhere, that is where it gets manifest. Therefore, ye anupashyanti. It is not a pashyanti, one who sees. A anupashyanti, one who sees afterwards. Afterwards, after what? Anu means paschat, later, after. Later or after what? After the teaching of Guru and Acharya, the Guru and Shastra. Following the teaching of Guru and Shastra, one who sees this, Jiraha, who sees that? dhiraha. Dhira means, it can mean dhiraha, dhairyuktaha, one who has a valor. Dhiryaha means dhiyuktaha, one who has intellect. So if you say dhairyaha, dhiraha, intellect, then viveka yuktaha, one who has discrimination. If you take it as a dhairya with valor, means a dispassion, vairagya. So you need to have valor, strength to dismiss the world as non-real. So dhira can mean both viveka and vairagya. Okay, one who is endowed with viveka vairagya, who is able to see this, following the teaching of acharya and the shastra, tesham, for them, shukam shashvatam, the bliss they experience is shashvatam, eternal. Shashvatam means nitya, eternal. Naitaresham, not for anyone else. We don't say there is no sukha for others. We say the sukha is not, the happiness is not eternal for them. Everyone experiences happiness, but the thing is, they think the happiness they experience is from the objects they see. And even though, even if the objects are producing the happiness, it is not eternal happiness, it is a momentary happiness. Because if there is no happiness, no one will desire to even breathe. No one will desire even to breathe if there is no happiness anywhere. That is why we give a beautiful story. The story is a person is chased by a tiger. He falls into a well. He catches hold of a dry grass. It's cutting his hand, but it's okay. He is catching hold of it because he cannot go up. There is a lion waiting there for its food. He cannot fall inside the well because there is a crocodile inside the well. And at the same time, he cannot hold on to it is hurting his hand. B, there is a snake which is crawling down, coming close to him. Poisonous snake. He is surrounded by danger. At that very moment, he sees a honeycomb from where a drop of honey is dripping. He puts his tongue out and tastes it. Even when he is surrounded by death, he is enjoying that momentary bliss. That is what we are experiencing in the world. When surrounded by all these things, we experience that small happiness. So, tesham shashvatam sukham. Only for the one who experiences the self, one who gains the immediate knowledge of the self. There, dhiraha anupashyanti. Anupashyanti, one who sees, means one who gains the immediate knowledge. Sakshatkara. Only for them the happiness is eternal, not for everyone. Not for anyone else. Nityo nityanam jayatanas eko bahunam yo vidhati kaman tam atmastam yena vashyanti dhiraha tesham shanti shashvati netaresham. Nityah nityanam chetananam ekah bahunam yo vidhati kaman tam atmastam yena vashyanti dhiraha tesham shanti shashvati netaresham. The second line is similar. Earlier, it is said tesham sukham shashvatam. Here it is says shanti shashvatam. Okay, that is the only difference. Now, nityo nityanam, nityah nityanam. Among those which are eternal, this is the eternality. What is eternal? Nothing is eternal other than the self, right? But still, we see things which are referred to as eternal in the world, which is a vyavaharika eternality, vyavaharika nityatva, which we call as a synonymous sapekshika nityatva. Sapekshika means comparative eternality, comparative permanence. It's like if the sun, we are not going to see this, though they say the helium gas, when it goes off, the sun is going to go dark, etc. We are not going to see that. That day is not going to come for us. Okay, so the sun is eternal, the space is eternal, the air is eternal. This is what we hear and see. Even if things stay for 3 seconds, that is eternal. Because what is nitya? Trikala badhitam. That which is not negated in 3 periods of time is eternal. it is eternal. 3 periods of time. So anything which is existing even for 3 seconds is eternal. 3 seconds, 3 milliseconds, 3 milliseconds, whatever. If it is eternal, whatever comes into being is eternal. That eternity is sapekshika, comparative eternity. That is the only difference. So the eternity that is given, that is because of this self, which is eternal of eternal. Okay, chetanas chetananam. For all the sentience, all that which has consciousness, this is the consciousness. That all that which is conscious, this is the consciousness. For all that which is sentient, this is the sentiency. The deity, the human, the bird, animal, etc. All that we see as sentient beings. The consciousness for those sentient beings is of this self. Ekaha bahunam. Among the multiple plurality of embodiments, this is one non-dual, changeless. Yo vidadhati kaman. Vidadhati provides kaman, the desired. One who provides the desired. He does not give everything we desire. According to our karmas, he provides everything according to karmas. Two people born in the same place, same time, same everything, they'll have the same horoscope, but their results are different. Why? Because the karmas change their fate. And Ishvara is one. Even though if you perform the same karmas, two people perform the same karmas, he's going to give two different results. Why? Though you see the externality to be similar, the internal, the one fellow will be, oh, I have to do all this show drama for these fellows. I don't want to do, but still I have to. The other fellow, oh, God has blessed me to do this karma. So there is an internal difference. God understands the difference and he provides the result accordingly. Vidadhati, he gives the result. Now, there also, wait 1 second. He is not going to calculate the results. How then does he provide a anayasena, without any effort? Swabhavikena, naturally. Without any effort, naturally he is providing the results for each of them. Kaman, tam atmastam, that self which exists in the heart cave. Ye anupashyanti, one who sees after the teaching of Guru and Shastra, after studying the Guru, after studying from the Guru and the Shastra, hearing the Shastra, Dhiraha, those people with discrimination and dispassion, Tesham, only for them, Shantihi Shashpati. Shanti is Uparati, peace. Shanti means activityless, which is the inherent nature. It's the nature of the self. Thought is a disturbance. No thought is our inherent nature. Shanti. Shanti is another word for the self. Okay? Shashwati. For them, only for them, Shanti is Shashwati, eternal. Naitresham, not for everyone. Not for the other one who does not possess these qualities. Iti Katavalleshu. In this way, the Katha Upanishad, Katha Shruti, Katha Upanishad, it explains the one non-dual self. We'll see from the other Upanishads later. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.